Hello everyone, this is Anna Nicole of Canterbury Card Designs. Today I'm going to be doing some no-line watercoloring. So I have used the Nutcracker 6x8 stamp set from Cat Scrappiness, and I've stamped one of the ballerina images. My goal is to make this into a birthday card. So here I have used, I've stamped the image actually with Distress ink in antique linen because that fades really nicely when you do your watercoloring. It's very easy to get rid of. And then now I'm taking some gum paste. Let me just see. I think the name of the one I used, but I'll link it in the description box below. I used Peebo drawing gum. So now I'm going to paint this on the image and get it covered as best as I can. I'm using a very small, I think I have a number 2 watercolor brush here. So I'm covering all of the areas. And what this is going to do is allow me to paint a little bit of a background. So now I let the gum paste dry, and now I'm taking my Magella Mission Gold watercolors, and I'm just kind of going to blend a little bit of a background here randomly. I'm just going to take a couple different colors. I knew that I wanted to paint her skirt pink, so I'm kind of going with different colors. I'm kind of going with a yellow, purple, blue, teal kind of colors. And you see that when you go right over this gum paste, it resists the watercolor, which is really nice. So after you take that gum paste off, you just have your ballerina left to paint. So I've sped this up a little bit. I'm just kind of watercoloring the background here, getting it how I want it. I think in hindsight, I maybe would have lightened up the yellow a little tiny bit. It was a little bit brighter than the rest of them, but once I blended it, and you'll see at the end I fixed it up a little bit more, I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. So I'm just going to let you watch this for a second and be silent so you can enjoy. And I'm going to hit this with my heat tool and dry this up a little bit before I take off my gum paste. So I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. I'm just making sure that none of that is wet so that when I take off this gum paste, I don't, get any paint on the background. So all you have to do to take this off is you just rub it with your finger. Careful not to rip your paper because sometimes it can get a little bit sticky. But you see how nice and easy that came off. And now I'm going to take my watercolors and I'm just going to watercolor this background, or this ballerina rather. So again, I've sped this up, but not too much. I think I have it just at double speed so that you can kind of watch the process here. So you can see me painting the skirt, and then I'll put some shading on it. So again, I'm just going to go silent here and let you watch the watercoloring. And if you hear some purring in the background, it's because one of my cats is sitting here with me as I'm doing this voiceover. And you'll see I kind of futz with it a little bit, and then add some water, and then go back. Because you can always reactivate your watercolors if you want to change something a little bit later on. You'll see also later on at the very end of the video, I go back, once the skirt is dry, I go back and I take some white watercolor paint and I just add a little bit of a highlight on there. I'm just going to do the flowers, and you'll see again at the end of the video, I kind of go back and add some shading to the flowers once I have her hair done. I just wanted to get these flowers on here so that I didn't paint over them when I painted her hair. You see me pinch off my brush a couple times here. That's because my brush, it's so well loved that the bristles are a little wonky at times. So if you just give it a little pinch there, it kind of sets them back straight again. Sorry there, hit my camera. I'm just going to get the basic skin color on there, and then I'm going to go back and do some shading. And then we'll go back in with that pink. And put little rosy cheeks on there. Now in a minute here, I do go back to the original stamp set to kind of reference, because the eyes got a little bit lost, and I wanted to make sure that I got them right. So I go back and I look at the original stamp so that I can see how to draw her eyes back on. And then I just took a very thin, I think it was a 0.03 black pen, and drew the eyes and the eyelashes back on here. And there we go. And that finishes off her face. Now we'll go back in with the pink and we'll finish up her ballet shoes and the little ribbon on the top. And then here's where I go back in with a little bit of white, just to give a little highlight to that ballet skirt. Now I'm going to touch up the hair, put a little shadow underneath there. Touch up the hands, and then just add a little bit more of the skin tone in between the ribbons on the ballet shoes. And now, again, like I said at the beginning, I kind of wasn't happy with some of the stark lines there of the yellow and the blue. So I went back in because, you know, you can, once you have your watercolor down, it's water reactive, obviously, because it's watercolor. So you can go back in and fix anything that you don't like. So I went back in and blended a little bit more. And I'm going to make just a little bit of a shadow underneath her feet and blend that out a little bit. So now I'm going to take a white Jelly Roll pen, and I just wanted to put some dots on the top of her ballet dress. Hard to see in the video, but once I turn this into a card, and I will share that, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And I went back in and put the blush on her cheeks again because it had kind of faded out a little bit. Then I realized I forgot to put a little bit of shading around her neck. So I went back and I did a little bit on her neck and in her arms here. Then a little bit on the side of the face. Just wanted to make sure that I had blended out all of that antique linen distress ink that I had stamped with initially. So now here's where I go back, and I thought the flowers just kind of looked like globs of purple. So I went back in with the original color purple and then with a little bit of a darker color purple to create some shadows. And then I took orange again and redid the centers of the flowers. So here this is just putting a little bit of a shadow on them and kind of blending it out. And this panel is just about finished. So kind of get that blended out in the rough floral shape. And I'll go back in and I'll put the little orange centers. And there you have it. We are finished. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button and join me again for another video really soon. Bye-bye.